Fill in the puzzle. 8 ways to help your middle school student be academically successful. Recognize the difficulty of being a middle schooler. Raging hormones, changing bodies, awkward social interactions. No longer a child, but not yet an adult. Middle school is tough. It's tough on the kids. Sometimes they're labeled a hurricane of hormones, and middle school is a time to encourage and support that hurricane of hormones. Time management and organization can be tough for middle school kids. They're learning how to self-advocate, and that can be tough. And they're working with self-esteem. That's also tough. It helps to know that there are a lot of normal pressures that face middle school students, and that they're not unusual or weird. Academic pressure can become intense, especially in 7th and 8th grade. Temptation can become a problem, as their friends may make choices that they wouldn't make. Friendships change from elementary school. They may gain or lose friends. And it's important to know that middle schoolers want to be held accountable, yet they also want to be independent. Know your child's grades. 4 tips for checking grades. Help your child become independent and track his own grades. Check online grades regularly, but not necessarily every day. Look for trends. Don't overreact to one bad grade. And talk to the teacher if you have concerns. Power School is the system that Carson City School District uses for students to check grades. It shows current grades for every class. And if you click on the student's percentage grade when you're looking at the grade for every assignment done in the class can be seen, so that you can track everything your student is doing in each class. It's important to look for patterns in the grades rather than getting upset about one particular grade. Look for things like, are there a lot of zeros, which indicates that your student might be missing a lot of assignments. Check and see if their test scores are high. Maybe they're not understanding the material. Check and see that assignments are being fully done and that there aren't a lot of half-done assignments. And then you can also check and see if students are turning stuff in late. Mrs. Schofield's going to show you in the next slide exactly how to access Power School and how to check those grades.
Okay, so in order to access Power School in your child's grades, go ahead and go to carsoncityschools.com. That is the district website. Then under quick links, go ahead and go to digital education. Once you're there, look for Power School student and parent link. And go ahead and type in your username and password. And go ahead and sign in. Okay, so this screen shows you your child's grades. You can see Q1, which ended in the middle of October. Those grades are not going to change anymore. Then you have Q2. Those grades are the ones that will be changing. And one thing that you need to do is make sure that anytime you see anything that is blue, click on it because it has a link. So for example, I clicked on that grade and now I have a list of all the different grades and assignments. And again, you can go to an assignment if it's blue, click on it, and it's going to have a description or some kind of comment. So right there, 7.3 to 7.4. When you see an incomplete, that means that the student still has time to turn it in. So that assignment needs to be turned in before the unit test. The student will get 20% taken off the grade because it is late. So again, always look for those incompletes. The other thing you can look at is absences. So if you click on absences, it'll show you the date and if it was excused. and it can do the same thing for tardies. Now remember that the semester grade is going to be an average of first quarter and second quarter. And so the quarter 2 grade is going to be changing, and so is the semester 1 grade, because that's an average of the 2 quarters. If you want to email a teacher, you can always click on their name and you can email them. And also notice how you have the behavior grade. So that's a 4, 2, 3. The highest you can get is a 4. And below here you can see the legend. It has a different codes. So you can see how your student is doing behavior-wise and academically.
Understand the difference between credits and grades. Tips for success in 9th grade and 8th and 7th and 6th. Attendance matters. Courses and credits count. Good grades are important. High school proficiency exams or end-of-course exams are required, and parent involvement is key. Credits and grades are different things, and this is a hard concept for middle school students to understand sometimes. It's important that we help them distinguish between the two. Credits indicate that a student has passed a class. It doesn't indicate how well a student has done in a class, but simply that they passed the class. Middle school students earn 5 credits in their core classes in order to go to the high school. They earn 1.5 credits in English, 1.5 in math, 1 in science, and 1 in social studies, and that allows them to promote to the high school. High school students, by contrast, earn 24.5 credits, and they can earn credits for electives and core classes, as well as things like outside sports and work. Grades are different things. Grades indicate how well a student has done in a class. How well? And it's based on a 10-point scale, A, B, C, D, or F. That really indicates, the grade really indicates, how well a student knows the material in the class. Good grades offer long-term opportunities, things like scholarships and entrance to college or trade school, tech school, the military. So it's important that students start to understand that both of these are important, that once they earn their credits, that's awesome. They're going to go to high school. But the grades get them all of the other things that are important to them. In middle school, in 7th and 8th grade, students must earn 3 semesters or 1.5 credits of English, the same in math, 2 semesters or 1 credit, same in science, of social studies. So hopefully, if a student is on course, that student will pass first semester of 7th grade, second semester of 7th grade, first semester of 7th grade, second semester, first and second, and first and second. Then the student needs to earn that additional half credit in English and half credit in math in 8th grade in order to get the 5 credits to promote to high school. But keep in mind, credits are only passing the class. Grades are important because they indicate how well the student does in the class. Review learning guides for each of your child's classes. Students whose parents are more involved with their schooling tend to complete higher levels of education and are more likely to graduate from high school than peers whose parents are not so involved. The Carson City School District has put a lot of time and effort into making sure that our classrooms are student-centered, where both teachers and students reflect on the learning process, and where teachers shift the focus from teaching to focusing on the learners themselves and having them have responsibility for their learning. In our learning guides, which Mrs. Schofield in the next slide is going to show you how to access, there are 4 different components. There are essential questions, learning targets, key vocabulary, and self-evaluation. And these are available online for every class that a student may take.
Okay, so in order to check learning guides, go ahead and go to carsoncityschools.com, so the district website. From there, go ahead and go to Parents. From Parents, go down to the drop-down menu to Learning Guides. And once you get to Learning Guides, you have a choice. If you have students in different schools, you can pick whatever school. But for our purposes, we're going to Middle School Guides. once we are there, you can pick whatever subject you want. So in this case, we can go to math. And if you have an 8th grade student, you can go ahead and go to 8th grade regular learning guides and pick whatever unit the student, is on. So these are the different units, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. And right now, let's check out Pythagorean theorem. As you can see, it has essential questions. It has the learning targets. It has key vocabulary. And the key vocabulary is going to have new, and if the students have had previous learning in this area, they'll have the old vocab as well. The other important part of a learning guide is that you can review with your student the material before a test. So right here, throughout the unit, you guys can check and look at the skills and grade yourself and see what areas need improvement. So again, this is a really good tool for review and making sure that you know what to do for that unit. You can always also cross-reference this with PowerSchool.
Support school policies, especially attendance. One of the most effective ways parents and families can help children to do better at school is to make sure they go to school every day. School attendance has a major influence on educational outcomes. Knowing and supporting school policy sends a consistent message to students that parents and the school are working together and that they're expecting the same things from their students, both at home and at school. All of the school policies are outlined in the student planner, and you can check in there to see what our policies are on late work and missing work, attendance, behavior, and our standard student attire. And our next slide will show you a picture of what our school planner looks like. So hopefully it's come home and you've seen it. This is our school planner, and within it, you will see all of our school policies outlined. This is also used by students to keep track of school assignments and work, homework and classwork, and it's used as their pass during the school day. So it's really important that students carry their planners to and from school and that they use them as the essential tool that they are.
Another useful website is the EVMS website. And here's the address, so evms.carsoncityschools.com. You can find the calendar. So the calendar will tell you about important events right there, and that way you can stay up to date on that. We also have a link for staff directory, so you can look for teachers, and each teacher has their own website. You can find the contact school link, and there are different links for parents. So tips, activities, standard attire, the online registration. So if you have any questions about EVMS, make sure to visit our website.
Supervise the use of technology. Tweens socialize online through email, instant messaging, or blogs. 9 out of 10 use online computer services. 72% have a profile on a social networking site, and 64% visit social networking sites 1 or more times a day. Supervising the use of technology is important, and we encourage parents to know their students' login names and passwords so that they can check whatever technology their student is using. It's also important to know that online bullying is against the law and sexual harassment is against the law. And if students are being online harassed or bullied in any way, that needs to be reported to school officials. There are many tools that we use within our school system for student success. Students have individual laptops. We use Google Drive, Edmodo, and CC Engage. And in the next slide, Mrs. Schofield's going to show you how to access information on all of these learning tools.
The one-on-one rollout, students are getting their own laptops for use at their schools. So if you go to carsoncityschools.com and then you go to digital education right by quick links, it'll take you to the page where you have access to the different student laptop handbooks. So for elementary, for middle, and high school. You also have access to different pillar applications. Edmodo is one that teachers use a lot. Students are given a code by their teacher so that they can join a group. A lot of teachers have a calendar where they have homework that is due, projects that are due, and even post that homework assignment. So that's a really good place for you to check. The other one that is being used quite a bit is Google Drive. So again, when you click on that, it'll take you to the sign-in page, and all students have an account. In this place, students can save their work, and sometimes they can even turn it in through Google Drive. The other one is Career Cruising. This is a website that is used for career exploration. So students answer different questions regarding their interest, and then it'll give them a list of careers that match their interest. This is being used in a middle and high school in order to help students choose their electives more wisely and hopefully guide them, get them ready when they go to college. So again, with the one-to-one rollout, the digital education page is very helpful. It has a lot of different resources for you, so you make sure you visit it.
Communicate about educational goals. Families have a major role in encouraging academic success. Adults must grab every opportunity to let children know that they have high expectations for their education. It's important to realize that whatever a student does, if they go to any kind of post-secondary college or institution, whether that's a tech school, college, the military, a trade school, they will wind up earning an average of about $13,000 more a year than a high school dropout. Over a lifetime, people who complete college or some kind of a secondary program make close to $1 million more during their lifetime than a student who just finishes high school. It's important when we're planning, and we help our students plan to go to high school from the middle school, that colleges really are looking, and trade schools and different types of secondary institutions, are looking at really 4 components. They are looking at standardized test scores like ACTs and SATs, and students will take those in high school. They're looking at the level of coursework that students take in high school. They're looking at the GPA, or the grade point average, and that's where those high grades come in, not just passing credits, but also earning high grades. And they also look at extracurricular activities. What kinds of things are students interested in? And what kinds of things do they put their energy and time into? Encourage school involvement in extracurricular activities. Students who are involved in extracurricular activities have higher attendance rates. They have higher grade point averages. They feel a sense of community, responsibility, and involvement. And they are connected to higher education through scholarships and grants and various opportunities. Any kind of extracurricular activity is going to be of value to a student. Anything, sports, drama, church involvement, small jobs like babysitting, bigger jobs as they get into high school, church activities and involvement, anything that a student is interested in and puts some energy and effort into is going to be of value. One of the reasons why these are of value is because a lot of times opportunities are tied to grades, and it's a fantastic motivator for students who want to play sports or who want to be involved in an activity to have to tie that to passing their classes. Eagle Valley offers a ton of activities for students to be involved in. One is Homework Club, and the next slide has the Homework Club information for you. So if students need to get help with homework or want time to work on homework, there are several opportunities to do that. We have all kinds of sports, cheerleading, volleyball, basketball, track, tied to a GPA. We have Honor Society, tied to a high GPA. We have Bike Club. We have band and choir classes involved during the school day, plus some other activities that aren't listed here. Here are our Homework Club opportunities. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we have 3 teachers after school from 2:40 to 3:45 with late buses available for students to go home. Tuesday through Friday, we have early homework starting at 7 o'clock, but students can come in at 7:15 whenever they arrive at school for help with Dr. Tun. Thank you for sharing this time with us and learning more about Eagle Valley Middle School.